While most businesses are facing significant headwinds due to COVID-19-led disruptions, the non-banking micro-lenders, NBFCs, MFIs in particular, have been most impacted by the nationwide lockdown. In our Ideas for Profit today, we'll discuss about Spandana Spurti's business coming back on track and whether investors should keep an eye on it. Well, the reasons for the NBFCs and microfinance institutions being hit hard by the pandemic are manifold. First, the operations of microfinance institutions are field intensive, involving high personal touch such as home visits, physical collection of cash. So with the lockdown, business operations almost coming to a standstill. Now, the borrowers of mutual fund microfinance institutions typically have weak credit profiles, and also with the curtailment of economic activity, their businesses got stalled. Moreover, the RBI also announced moratorium on interest and or principal payments on the term loans as well. However, the good news is that with the restrictions being lifted gradually, the collection efficiency, which had actually plunged to near zero in April, has rebounded sharply in the months of July and August for MFIs. So given the improving business activities, which MFI should be on investors' radar? Well, while all the top three NBFC MFIs, say Credit Axis Grameen, Satin Credit Care and Spandana Spurti, all of them are listed, Spandana really catches the investors' attention. Now, the company is the third largest NBFC MFI in terms of assets managed as at the end of June, and has seen the collection efficiency improving from a mere 2% in April to 92% in the month of August. Now, even more encouraging is the fact that the management expects the improvement to continue even in the coming months. But the improved collection efficiency is not the only reason for optimism here. In an overheated market with most stocks trading at, say, full or stretched valuations, we are most encouraged by the attractive valuations of Spandana, both on the fundamental as well as on the relative basis. Now, with over 15 years of operations and assets under management, or AUM, of say 6,835 crore rupees as at the end of June, Spandana has really an established presence in the domestic microfinance industry. Also, when you talk about while the disbursements were, say, negligible at about 49 crore rupees in Q1 of FY21, the gross loan book had actually increased by 37% year on year. Now, Spandana's portfolio is well diversified across regions also. Spandana envisages to grow its AUM at a compounded rate of, say, 25 to 30% over the next couple of years. The near-term FY21 growth, however, will be impacted by the weak economic environment that we are witnessing. Now, Spandana's plan to grow its asset book is well supported by the strong position on liability side, with the capital adequacy ratio well above the regulatory requirement as well. Now, it does have an adequate liquidity. The lender's cash and liquid investment balances stood at around 764 crore rupees in June and has bank sanctions of about 1200 crore rupees. Also, Spandana did not avail any moratorium on the repayment to financial lenders also. Now, further, it also managed to raise about 1490 crore rupees since the beginning of the lockdown until August end. Now, given the unsecured nature of the microfinance loans, the credit risk emerging from the marginal borrower's profile and other socio-political risk inherent to the microfinance business, its asset quality is highly susceptible. That said, we are also encouraged by Spandana posting industry-leading collection efficiency of, say, 92% as of August. Now, with 87% of the borrowers having resumed repayments also. Now, the company's profitability in the last couple of years has been quite healthy, with the return on assets of over 5% if you talk about. However, the credit costs can significantly rise in the near term, adversely impacting the profitability in FY21. Now, though it has already created an additional provision or equivalent of about 4.9% of its portfolio, remember that credit losses seen by MFI's industry during demonetization was in the range of 3 to 13%. So credit losses can significantly rise due to the pandemic. Now, talking about valuations, at the current price of, say, 579, Spandana is trading at 1.1 times estimated book value of for FY22, and which is attractive. It is trading below its IPO issue of 856 rupees per share and much below the 52-week high of 1397 rupees. Perhaps the churn in the senior management, including the CFO the chief risk officer and also the company secretary in the recent past, and the key person risk associated with the managing director, Ms. Padmaja Reddy, is weighing on the stock performance. But given the low valuation, investors can definitely expect the stock to re-rate sharply as and when these concerns abate.